Hi, my name is India Smith. I'm going to be conducting a Harvard IAT test experiment. My participant is 18 to 25 in the age range. I'm going to be asking the participant a few questions, a few pre-test questions, just to see where they're at and see if they understand what exactly what I'm going to be conducting. He's also a male, African American. Before I ask the participants the pre-test questions, I think based on the participant's background, I feel like the results are going to be very neutral just because on how the type of person they are. Very neutral. I think the results will show that it's very neutral. It won't have like a preference to one or the other. It's going to be very neutral because on how they generally treat other people. So yeah. I'm gonna ask you a few pre-test questions. Do you consent to the research study?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever taken a test like this before? The Harvard IAT test?
Nah.
Okay. What do you expect your results to show for the skin tone test?
Neutral.
Okay. Do you think people are aware of their own biases? They can be anything, racial, sex, gender.
Not everybody.
Why do you think that?
I don't know. People have different minds,
Okay.
different perspectives, though. So.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know what the Harvard IAT test is?
No.
It's basically a computer-based measure that assesses the strength of your subconscious and also the beliefs that people may not be willing or unable to report. So I'm also going to ask you a few post questions too after you take the test. What do you hope to learn from taking the test?
I hope to learn different perspective on other people, different skin color, whatever.
Okay, so after looking at your test results, do you feel like the test accurately reflects your implicit attitudes?
No.
Why do you think that?
Because it's not, I don't know, it's AI.
Okay. How did you feel while taking the test? Like your thoughts on it and also the results. Was it anything that surprised you while taking the test?
I don't know.
Like how the test was shown?
I don't know. I felt like it was kind of pointless.
Pointless? Why did you think it's pointless?
Because the questions was like, it wasn't no good questions. Like, it was just like pick and choose questions.
So you don't think it was accurately reflects like your own like biases? Okay.
It didn't have enough. It wasn't developed enough.
Okay. So you say you weren't surprised, or you were surprised about with the results?
I guess you could say I was. Thought it was gonna be more professional type.
Okay. How was your? Okay, would you recommend this test to other people? No. Okay. What was your overall experience while taking the test?
I don't know. It just felt like a regular test.
Oh, right.
It felt like a 1-year-old test.
Like something like childlike.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it felt like a game at the same time.
A game. Have you ever heard of implicit biases before?
No.
It's basically an easy way of saying like unconscious attitudes and like stereotypes basically about people groups, like I was saying, like sex, gender, beauty standards, racial biases, all that basically. So basically like a person who knows smoking is bad for their health but continues to smoke. That's basically an implicit biases or whatever, or cognitive dissociation. So okay, do the results align with your expectations? No. Okay. How might these perceptions influence your interactions with other people?
No.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. It didn't do nothing to me. It didn't give me no different perspective on nothing.
Okay. What are your thoughts on how to address any biases that the test may reveal? Well, the test did reveal.
I ain't getting nothing from the test.
Okay. Because the test results were like very neutral, so
yeah,
it was neutral. It wasn't like a preference on each one.
I treat everybody the same anyway, so.
Okay. Do you have any questions about the test or its results that you would like to discuss? Okay. So the results of the participant, it aligns with what we've been learning in class. They showed I wouldn't say a strong preference, but the results were very neutral, which I expected from my my hypothesis was correct. I don't have any, I'm not surprised by the results. I wouldn't say it's an in-group or out-group, but if I did have to choose, it would definitely, it aligns with the concept of in-group biases, as we discussed in class. The participants' results definitely showed a preference for the concept of in-group rather than out. For the first article, this article supports my arguments towards implicit attitudes towards race and like skin tones, because they're slowly becoming more neutral over time, and there's just statistics and analytics of it. The second article is more of a physician-wise. When people of darker skin tones come into the doctor's office, it's more likely that they won't be treated as someone with a lighter complexion, of course. And there are just many scenarios on this one, as well as more scenarios, but more to medical decision making based on gender and skin tones, but primarily we're focusing on skin tones here. But they have a lot of examples.